I have my dream job. But even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what to do about your busy work, they actually do it. That way your team can focus on what matters. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. JW, Mike, just in his office, just doing it. Sean, still holding down the fort here at the Serve studio, London style. Guys, can I be honest with you?
What you got?
Okay.
Please.
So I had like a day off. I wasn't on air. I had to go in for some production stuff at ESPN, but I was largely freed up. Had dinner with James and Emily Blake and my wife, Brooke. I had 2 cocktails, guys.
Is that why there's no wine today?
Yeah.
No, is that why there's no wine today? Nope, there's wine. Don't worry. We're still going. Yeah,
That's not a brace. That's a hat trick.
Yeah, we're fine. There's just
It's a hat trick.
Yeah.
We're gonna see. We're gonna let this go. We're gonna see if we can get through it.
Finishing with this guy wearing a lampshade on his head. But we got tennis to talk.
We do.
Sobering thoughts.
Yeah. Listen, Muchova, Coco, first 2 set kind of weird. Like it was like one played well, the other played, and then they kind of offset, and then all the drama came at the end. JW.
You ever see a movie where the first act you're not quite sure where they're going, and the second act doesn't quite get there, and then it comes together and coalesces, and you have I would go so far as to say classic. This was great. You had a 6-1 set and a 6-2 set, and this was one of my favorite matches of the tournament. Great drama. We can get right to the chase and talk about Coco's 9-8 match point. Yep.
And that point that everyone seems to be talking about.
Would be interested on your thoughts. Coco holds match point 9-8 in the winner-take-all breaker. I mean, she did a great job getting back in the match. Another 3-setter, her 5th straight. Over half her matches this season have been 3 sets. So she loses the first set. It's almost irrelevant. She gets back into the match. She gets back. She was losing in the breaker and came back. She's 9-8 up. Hits a great serve down the middle that Muchova is lucky to get back. There's a sitter about halfway between the net and the service line and...
Little dropper.
Yeah.
No, great. Yeah, you know what? I've actually been thinking about this for 2 weeks. Is that no one ever with post Carlos Alcaraz calls a dropper a bad decision anymore. Like everyone's kind of fine with it. I've seen more, and I actually had Hawkeye for ESPN do the stat backup. The conversion rate on the win percentage of points where people hit a drop shot, Roland Garros versus Wimbledon. What do you think that differential is?
In terms of successful drop shots?
Yes. Points won after playing a drop shot.
That's a 20% difference.
Not quite. Well, I guess it's 58% points won at Roland Garros, about 50% at Wimbledon. And yet the volume hasn't really changed.
That's interesting.
Like it's a bad play on grass most of the time. Like it is. And Coco's been hitting that shot. We've been celebrating her variety this entire tournament. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you miss a shot.
That's exactly what she was great. She totally confronted after. I mean, I also will say that Muchova was moving gingerly in this super tiebreak. So maybe, hey, this is a player with compromised movement. The from the cheap seats, people say, oh, it's a bailout. She was colonized by fear. I don't think it was that bad a decision. It was just really badly executed. Yeah. And I think there's a difference.
Listen, you like, oh, she was tight. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens when you're about to go to a Wimbledon final. Yes, it means something to you. It manifests in your body in a certain way. Yes. The goal is to kind of like be better at being nervous. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like Fed got nervous. Rafa, his entire documentary, which by the way, just got emanated. First mistake. Cocktail dinner. Nominated for an Emmy. That's pretty cool.
Emanated for a Nami.
It was emanated for a Nami. It's fantastic.
That is cool.
Congrats to them. That's cool. But Rafa, you think of him as like this guy, this gamer, this competitor. He's like, I had such anxiety that I had a hard time drinking water sometimes. Like, I don't know. Here's what I think, right? One, props to Muchova. She is a complete player. She is fun to watch. By the way, this is not her first Grand Slam final. It's her 4th final weekend in the Slam. She's been in the semis of the US Open twice. She's so much fun to watch. She's streaky, right? Like I watch her in this tournament and I can't figure out how she ever loses first or second round of tournament. And she does it a fair bit.
Yeah.
Like, so she's phenomenal. Also, if we project forward with Coco, if she ever wins this event, which is way more likely now than it was 10 days ago, she's going to look at this year. And I know this is like a glass half full reaction to a disappointing result. She's going to look at this year and say, that's the year where I finally kind of figured out how to play on grass. Is that too optimistic?
No, I think she cracked the riddle of grass. She came within a couple points. Her fight back was great. She double fault. I mean, she did have one in the break run for them.
Two for the match, by the way.
In a match that ended 7-6 in the third.
She had 3 aces, 2 double faults. Get out of here.
The technical stuff has been cleaned up. It was a couple of loose points here and there. Again, I don't think you're playing a tight, injured opponent. And she said, look, if I pull it off, it's this genius move and it's the clever drop shot that closes out the match. It was, I think it's, again, more the execution than the decision. She'll regret it. She'll move on. She was very sort of rational about it afterwards. And
that's strange. She's normally so irrational and crazy.
Exactly. She beats her. No, she had a great response, which is like, first of all, like how many people in the world would love to be in the position of losing a semifinal? Yep. And then, I botched a shot. What do you want me to do? Credit to Muchova for closing. We talked about this before. She is such a flashy, fun, creative player. She has had trouble closing out matches. So to win the past few times, she's had a really good tournament, not just results-wise, but in terms of sort of managing the cadence of a match and closing, which she did really well today.
How do we feel about her health moving forward?
She came to Tennis Channel. We asked her, but she wouldn't give anything up.
Weird. She didn't give you the diagnosis and project that to her opponent?
She didn't say, my abs are really sore and I'm going to have trouble in 48 hours moving left to right.
If Noskova, sorry to bury the lead, if Noskova, who beat Costa, if Noskova runs me to my right, I'm going to be in big trouble.
She didn't say that.
She didn't tell you that?
She didn't give up the game like that.
Strange.
She's
supposed to be honest.
What do we always say? She has a day to recover. We have what do you think is going to win? This is the big rivalry of the final weekend. Is it fairy tale or double check and various checkmate? And what pun is going to get played to death more?
Fairy tale has like a big 24-hour head start.
That's a good pun.
And it'll probably end sooner.
Like
I'll save my prediction. I mean, I'm going to do fairy the biggest favor ever because I've literally been picking against him the entire way.
Oh.
I'm going to pick Zverev again. So you're welcome. Fantastic.
He's in the final.
Noskova, Kostiuk. Noskova's like, we have Muchova, who just won her 10th straight grass court match. Noskova's somewhere right around there because she won Berlin also. She's maybe 11 or 10 also. Like, this is a lot of momentum coming into this final on grass.
And talk about a player who's comfortable on the surface. Very different match, these two.
Yeah.
This was just 4-4. I think both sets went to 4-all, and Noskova just said, I'm going to knuckle down. And kind of a disappointment for Kostiuk. 2 straight semis. She's lost 2 matches since like April 1st,
both in semis.
Both major semis, and both sort of, I wouldn't say anything to be ashamed of, but not her best. I think she started about 50%, and a couple, both break games were kind of loose, and just nothing to beat herself up over, but just not quite as sharp as she needed to be. But Noskova, she's a player.
She has a lot of skill. Like
13 points at the net.
She can kind of play from everywhere.
Everywhere.
And also, nothing looks like, when some people go to the net, it looks like they're trying to go to net. Like, she ends up in the right places where you're like, oh, you look up and it's like, oh yeah, she came to land a little bit. Oh, she won 13 points up there. Like, she kind of has this like subtle way. It's like a guy in the NBA where you look up and he's got 26 points.
Yeah, right. How did he take that?
And you're like, he's made like 4 shots. Like, she's very sneaky, kind of like, I don't know. I'm really impressed with her. Backhand's world class. Her skill set is great. Who do you like?
She is. You touched on it. I mean, I do think health could play a role. I guess you got to go with Muchova, who's been there before, and she hadn't played on center court until today. You like the kid? I'll tell you one thing real quick first though. The courts are really beaten up. I mean, we always say this final, but this looks like. You ever see The Sandlot? Sean, you know The Sandlot?
I do.
Oh my gosh, you know something that was not.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Sean, did you hear we landed on the moon?
I'm not gonna.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift got married. The court is the court's really beaten up, but these players use so much of it. I'm talking about Muchova and Noskova, and so many angles, and they play at net. they're not going to stick to the middle of the baseline. So I think the court will actually benefit from the variety and the nooks and crannies of the court they use. But I don't know. First major final by a long shot. I mean, this was her first
time first was the quarters.
Was the first quarter? I think you're right.
No, she made the quarters before.
Last year.
This is her first semi, first final.
That's a big life-changing occasion. She also, she speaks very openly about sort of she's shy. She was reserved. This is not one of these, I was born for the spotlight. I've seen that movie so many times where the first time major finalist gets a little bit of deer in headlights, but I don't know. I mean, I think their games match up well. What do you think?
I know this guy who won his first major final, then never fucking won another one. So can go the other way sometime.
That's true.
JW.
Fair point.
I know. I will tell you, and you're laughing a little hard there, Mike. Chill out.
I'm going to modulate that in post.
God. Awesome. I will tell you. So you mentioned now you're laughing at it. This sucks. All right.
Well done.
God, again.
You started it.
I didn't laugh. I didn't start anything. I'm not. I will tell you. You mentioned the court being completely baked. We haven't had a drop of rain.
Yeah,
like not a drop.
Yeah, you're right.
The whole tournament, right? Not any rain. The whole tournament.
I've played this tournament where it rains for 5 days straight, and the grass stays a little greener. The greener the court is, the more muted the bounce is. It's like a thud, and then it kind of deadens. This thing's going to be playing like fast hard court adjacent, right? The 09 in 09 it barely ran the entire tournament, and it was literally like dirt when you were standing on it in the final. Like you were kicking up like your socks, and I had ankle brace. They look brown like they would on clay.
Like French, yeah.
Yeah. So this will play hard, fast through the court. The bounces will be great through the middle. It's just when it's straight on deep on the baseline where people have been landing on their serves. If a return is hit there, then it gets a little dicey just from the wear and tear.
Can I ask you a little about footing? Once it starts to get kind of dusty and dirty back there. I mean, we saw a few slips, especially in Coco's match. Is the footing become massively different?
I'll play on like a dried out grass court where it's like kind of as opposed to like the slippery first day all green where you're seeing some slips, but they're not the giraffe on ice skates slips that you get like in the first 4 days of the tournament. So it's a little bit different. You might slide a little bit, or you might but it doesn't feel as uncontrolled as when you kind of your legs flip out and I hope she's feeling better, but like in Mboko at Queens, right? Where it goes and everything goes, or Sinner took one early in the tournament too. Like you look at it, it kind of makes you flinch a little bit. So it should be fine. I think we should preview the men's a little bit. So
before we get to that, before we transition from the ladies, I just wanted to give you the ServiceNow stat of the day that relates to the women. If that's cool.
Did you?
Yeah, it's 4 of 8, the number of Wimbledon women's finalists over the last 4 years that are Czech. You have Vondrousova 2023, Krejcikova 2024, and now both Muchova and Noskova in 2026.
Wow.
It's pretty
Czechs. Cool. How about Pliskova the year after COVID?
Yeah.
So that's another one. And then Petra Kvitova won twice.
Won twice. Yeah. I mean,
for a country of 10 million people, they pump out them women's tennis players.
We're quick to be like Spain, clay court specialists.
Yeah,
we ever go Czech grass court? Like this is, I'm glad you're saying this out loud, Mike. This is a good one.
That's a good one.
I actually had another one also.
Okay.
Stat.
And it's 5, but then followed by hours. Novak Djokovic, 5-0 all time in matches over 5 hours.
Novak undefeated in matches plus 5 hours.
Oh, Sinner hasn't won a match over 3:47 or something
like that.
Yeah. So if a match lasts 4 hours, you're saying Novak wins for sure, right?
Money goes to the other side of the table.
Yeah, okay.
Handicap that one.
We should preview this final. Novak and Sinner. What are your early thoughts, JW?
It sounds kind of like a crazy discussion at some level. You got the number 1 player in the world. He's in the prime of his career. He's a defending champion, and he's 15 years younger. Like, what are we doing here? And then you say,
what were you doing in Australia?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you say, well, wait a second, before we blow through these stop signs, what were we doing in Australia? The last time they played a best 5, Novak won. I think you could make a very convincing case on balance. Novak may even have looked better here. He certainly had to play a tougher slate of opponents. He got the extra days off. I still think, I know this is hard to quantify and one of these mushy things that we should resist, but I still think the crowd support and Novak's sense of occasion and the weight of occasion and the kids there and 15,000 fans who will be very partisan for the 39-year-old is something we can't ignore. Sinner, one of the few players with a superior head-to-head over Novak.
6-5.
But 6-5.
Lost the last one, won 5 in a row before that one. We thought the tables had turned.
I don't know how Novak is going to pull up over 7-6 in the 5th marathon.
2 days. 2 days.
He's got
two days is like
day.
a real amount of time. 1 day would have been cooked.
I saw it's like 80-20. I mean, the
For Sinner?
heavily favoring Sinner. I think it's much closer than that. What do you think?
I mean, I'd take 4-1.
What do you think?
I wouldn't take,
exactly. So what do you think?
Here's what I think. We mentioned the Australia match as if it's like gravity, right? Like it happened, therefore it's fact, and therefore I think there's some nuance, right? I think Sinner's the favorite. I agree with everything you said about Novak. I'm like blown away. Best match manager, I think, in the history of our game, maybe this side of Sampras, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you throw away some points, you take some points, you kind of pick and choose your spots. Here's what I think. I think the path to victory is a narrower margin for Novak, right? I don't think Sinner has to play as perfectly as Novak has to. The one stat that I think is largely ignored from the Australia match, right? Novak wins in 5, right? Unbelievable. All the superlatives, they all fit. Sinner, 2 for 18 on break points. Created way more opportunities than Novak. Now, didn't convert them, so analyze that all you want. Was more clutch, all of that. Novak, 5 for 8 on break points. Yeah. He threaded the needle, pulled it off over 5, right? So his set of margins was narrower in Australia, and he figured it out. Is that normal? And if we put that at scale, is he able to do that again? He is capable. It would shock no one if he won this match. And I just think Sinner's kind of path is wider to win this match.
That's well put. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, 5 for 8 versus 2 for 18. It was a nail biter. Right. Barely got over the line.
Against a guy who can serve. I mean, it's not like
I know it's crazy to say because Novak's won Australia 77 times. I think grass is probably a better surface for Novak to have an impact on Sinner. Right. I know Sinner won last year, but I think Novak is so dialed on how to use the grass and play with the grass. And at this point in his career, I think it's probably his best surface. But I think it's a narrow path to victory. I think if Novak plays average, I don't think he has a chance to win it. If Sinner plays good, not great, I think he has a real chance to win this. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I will say Felix and Safiullin before, both were getting the payoff early with forehands, either from the middle of the court or from the left side, going big to Novak's forehand, right? Novak was either not quite there or going big when he was on the run, right? Kind of almost bailing out. Backhand defensively that's fantastic because he can get out there with that left foot. And so I'm curious to see if Sinner kind of sees the same thing that his last 2 opponents have seen and played to,
gets him
and takes that hard to Novak's forehand. But to layer in on top of that, it's just not that easy. Sinner's, and I've said this on ESPN a million times, I'll say it again tomorrow. So if you're watching in the morning and you hear, it's going to be the same thing. Sinner was off on his forehand the first week of this tournament. He had 14 errors through the first 2 rounds of last year's Wimbledon on his forehand side. This time he had 45 errors, triple the amount of errors through 2 rounds, right? So I think he might know the pattern that we're talking about. He will have seen it. He will have scouted it. And he's been missing his forehand a little bit. Now, we also did a segment where it's like he's unconscious. He'll miss 5 in a row and he'll hit the 6th one harder.
Wait, who are we talking about now?
Sinner.
Okay.
Like he was missing early and he never lays off of it because of his miss. And it's like a really admirable quality. I would have tightened in the margins and laid off of it and pushed and
shaped and curled and
been horrible.
Right.
He can miss 6 in a row and believe that he's going to make the next one. So I expect to see that pattern, that payoff early. Curious to see what Novak does with second serves. I'm expecting him to run it big on the body, maybe out to the forehand. I think he has to mix that around a little bit. going into the match against FAA. And he won a lot of second serve points against FAA. Like for a minute, it was almost the same as first serve points won. There was a split going into the quarterfinals last year at Wimbledon. Novak was defending his second serve at a 59% points won clip. Going into the quarterfinals this year, he was defending it at a 47% clip. That's significant. 12% differential with second serve points won actually matters, right? So curious to see what those adjustments are. I think Sinner is going to get through a bunch of service games, pretty straightforward. Also, one of the differences is, as I drop my phone, against FAA, right? Enough water finds the leak, right? So
what do you mean?
Felix's backhand held up for 4 sets.
Yeah, right.
And the entire broadcast we were talking about, he needs to find it. And then FAA was actually swinging through his backhand pretty well. We gave him props for it. 5th set, Felix had 1 winner and 10 unforced errors on the backhand side.
Like
Novak is
4 on the breaker too.
Yeah, Novak is like erosion. You don't see it right away, and then you look, however many years later, and it's broken.
Right.
But apply that to a 5-set match, right? He will chip it away. He'll chip it away, and you just have to be good from your weakest spot over the course of 4 or 5 hours. Now, the difference is there's not an obvious spot.
I was going to say, what's the spot you're going to pick on?
There's not an obvious spot where that water is going to find the leak on Sinner if he's not just missing and he's not just wild.
Right.
If he's dialed, forehand, backhand, both bad options. So I'm really curious to see what that chess match is. I'm curious to see if Sinner just kind of goes stock second serve, if he runs it in, where they adjust with return position. But I just think the path to victory, the margins are slightly wider for Sinner. Zverev.
That's good. That's good enough. Yeah.
Zverev and Fery.
Paul Goldstein says it's a toss-up.
Paul Goldstein, coach at Stanford,
who made a good effort.
Who flew over.
He actually had a funny story. He said as soon as that Dimitrov match point, he's got the phone calling his travel agent. So no, I don't know. I mean, I think if you said, listen, we got Novak Djokovic, okay, that's reasonable. We got Sinner, well, yeah, he's defending champion, top seed. We got Zverev, all right, that's the guy who won the previous major, second seed, and we got a guy outside the top 100 who needed a wild card. That said, Fery just seems to get better and better. And he's comfortable here. He moves well. He doesn't appear. I mean, he had a 6-love last set he played.
Yeah.
Against a really good player.
Yeah.
I give him a fighting chance. I mean, I think for any of 100 reasons, the back end rally. I don't know. What do you? I mean, do you see a path for Fery that?
Here's what I think, and it's a similar narrative that at least I had for Zverev at Roland Garros after Sinner went out. So all of the improvement that we've seen from Zverev on grass this tournament, right? He's laying down the chip a little bit more often. He's trying to get on the front foot on the forehand a little bit more often. He's coming in a little bit more. All of those nuanced things he's doing well. And his best shot against Fery might be just cruising back to where Zverev likes to play, where he gets criticized for playing 6 feet behind the baseline. So if you think about who Fery's beaten, Bergs, who was playing well coming in, had a good, super aggressive all the time.
Come charging and
so Fery can go into like that counterpunch mode,
right?
Where he's very good at neutralizing pace. He's very fast, but he hasn't had to go punch someone out. Now he's very good at like crush and rush. He's strategic about when he is aggressive. But like against Kaboli was just trying to get aggressive, and he was covering court, knocking the ball down, and making Kaboli attack from maybe uncomfortable positions. Dimitrov, not a lot of defense. Sit in that chip, he's coming in, he's attacking. Fery can kind of settle in and be the backboard and be the high IQ guy that he is. Kaboli, going after him, like was trying to control with the forehand. I actually think that Zverev can kind of settle back into the spot that he often gets criticized for a little bit easier against Fery. And I'd be curious early on if Zverev goes, I've seen you. You've been winning on the cards.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to let you.
Can you punch me out?
That's good.
Like I don't know that we know that yet.
I can be a defensive cutie also, and I can hand back and be patient.
Except I'm 6'7" and I serve 140.
And I can go back in. Yeah.
Correct. So,
and
I have a little bit more length. So I'm actually curious to see how Zverev comes out. I don't think he's going to come out and try to knock his face off. I think he's going to actually stress test some long rallies to where Fery's going, oh, wait, someone's not attacking me. Like, I'm actually having to kind of
I got to see. Yeah, right.
Be the aggressor.
Back and sometimes make some action.
I'm actually curious to see how this is, because you think, oh, counterpunches, Zverev's got to go after him. I don't necessarily think that's necessary. Like, I don't know that that's going to be the rule for this one. I think he's going to go, okay, I'm going to have a lot of chances on Fery's serve. He's a good server, but he's not 6'7", 140. I think Zverev's going to be able to go back on second serves like he likes to.
Right.
If he flattens out that back into his forehand,
exactly.
I weirdly think he might be able to go into the spot where everyone criticizes him for going, or at least did until, we're all pretending like he played differently at Roland Garros.
No, even Roland Garros.
He's just always been really good. He just didn't.
Exactly.
He didn't have to match up against Sinner.
No, but you can't give the guy too much grief when he's winning the title. But
I defended him a lot when people were like, he has to change everything. I'm like, his stroke production's different. He's still better than 99% of Earth. Do you change everything? I don't know. I think he might actually be able to settle into old habits more than he had to against Fritz and more than he had to against Lehechka. So I'm curious to see if he kind of takes this new grass confidence thing that he's got going, or he kind of reverts back. I would guess that early on, we'd see a couple long rallies where he's stress testing where Fery is at when he has to actually be the puncher.
And he'll say, fine, I'll go. I can be.
You want to be behind the baseline?
Exactly.
I'm happy living there.
I'm happy to hang with you too.
I'm like maybe the best in the world at drifting 6 feet back.
I love that we're talking about the number 2 player in the world against a guy who came in outside the top 100, and we have this level of nuance analysis.
It's real though. Like I've said it before, and I probably said it yesterday on the podcast. I watched so much of Fery this tournament, and I think there's been 3 times where I'm like, that was a bad decision. He rarely makes the wrong decision. He rarely makes dumb errors. He finds the middle of the court when he's needed. When you hit pace, he firms it up back. Like, it's tough for you to kind of find ground. He moves. Watch this guy switch directions on a grass court. He'll go full run forehand, turn on a dime. Normally people slip or have to take a step through and then get back. Like, his footwork on grass is phenomenal. No, he reads drop shots well. Like, he is aware. Right. Like, the tennis IQ is never going to be the thing that I don't think that's ever going to be a challenge for him. Where to make hay consistently, how to be aggressive. Once the ball starts jumping up, you get to the summer hardcourt season. It's a different ball. So we're going to find out that experiment. But weirdly, I think Zverev might actually come out.
That's interesting.
I'm curious to see if he's passive or if he's like in a hurry.
Right.
I would guess that he's going to be a little bit more passive.
This is like boxing analogies.
Yes.
I also think part of working these tournaments, you can't remember who you were talking to and when you said what, and you're on ESPN and I'm doing this. At some point I thought it's not just that he can play on grass, Fery. His mom's a member of the club. He can play on this grass. Yeah. And I think that is relevant too. I know the crowd support and all the puns and the headlines and the tabloids. I don't give a shit about that, but I think he knows this grass in particular, and I think that's a real advantage.
And I'll tell you, Zverev, after he beat Fritz, the crowd was kind of, you do an answer, and it's that weird thing where the interviewer stands 27 feet away from you.
COVID.
I don't understand.
COVID protocol.
I think if they would have done that, I would have taken the mic and I would have walked over to them and stood next to them. And be like, what are we doing?
Are you a cocktail party? You do that?
Yeah. So he says afterwards, people are cheering. He goes, listen, it was actually a good moment for him. He goes, I know all of you are going to be cheering for Fery. He goes, I'm great with that. Like, no problem. Go ahead. Like, knock yourself out. I will say, like, I've been at Wimbledon trying to be the guy that shot Bambi before. Like, I played Murray here twice.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. 06, where I lost to him when I was a higher seeded player, and he was like, had just finished high school, and it was like, I was devastated, and I was like, how do you lose this guy? And he's like one of the best players ever. And then 09, he was like the favorite. They were previewing that match. This crowd will cheer for their guy. They are not the booing, whistling. This is not Roland Garros.
Right.
It's a hard crowd to pick a fight with, even if you're like the guy they're not cheering for. They are respectful. Yeah. They're knowledgeable. They're going to cheer for their guy, but they're not going to like boo and heckle Zverev. That's just not going to happen. And he's eyes wide open. He knows what's going to happen. Like, he's been there before. The other thing is that I thought Kaboli was like shell shocked being in a quarterfinal and being an overwhelming favorite. That's a new situation for him in a Grand Slam. I know he just made finals,
Right.
but
I was
that's
going to say, it's the second part of that.
expectation is hard.
Right.
Zverev is not going to be phased by going into a match that he's expected to win.
Right.
He's been in that
I was
position
going to say, look at his draw
against
five
all but like
weeks ago.
4 or 5 people. He
Yeah.
went through Roland Garros in that position for 11 days, and I bet he woke up every morning feeling he was going to vomit. Like he's dealt with that before. I don't think that's going to phase him in the same way that it phased Kaboli. Producer Mike, what else, man?
I think that's it. I think that's all that we got. I think, you enjoyed a nice day exploring other parts of London. You saw some other little neighborhoods, which I think is kind of cool, which I kind of forget, how close Wimbledon is to London as a city center.
So good. It's so good. I will tell you, and this is kind of like a homer call, Wimbledon is completely differentiated by this like neighborhood feel. There's no other tournament, you've been hearing me talk about it, where we walked to dinner with James and Emily, like 2 of our best friends, sat down, walked home, came in, did a show. JW and I were at the desk, like writing notes before we came in. Kids are watching a movie. It is just like the best experience ever. And I want to actually thank the hosts, right? There's like this whole movement at Wimbledon where people move out of their house and this tennis universe moves in.
Circus comes. Yeah.
And it is just the best. It is so differentiated from anything else we do on tour. It's like we're close to the action. We get to like go to Gales and Maison, and we went to the Giggly Squid tonight, and we go to all the restaurants, and you kind of feel like you're at home for a couple weeks a year. At JW, I mean, there's no other tournament like it.
No,
It's fun.
and
You literally are living 2 doors down.
I was going to say, your kids' baseball almost broke our window. No,
That
I'm
is
kidding.
true.
I'm kidding. But
That
no,
is
you
accurate.
go to the gym and you sign in. You're like, oh, I know him,
Yes.
him. You walk around, you're wearing your flip-flops, and you see all the same people that you see throughout the year, just in a much
It's great.
different environment.
And
It's
I will
great.
tell you, just like if you have any travel time and you're thinking about be a host, put it up on Airbnb. It's like, thank you for all the people that have put their homes up and let us enjoy their special neighborhood, this special experience. It is something that we enjoy. We look forward to all year. It is just amazing. You all are amazing. Thank you for listening to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. I did it. 2 cocktails and a show. We'll see you.
I have my dream job, but even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what to do about your busy work, they actually do it. That way your team can focus on what matters. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.